Hi friends, welcome back. In this particular video, I am playing Mystery Heroes. I am a Mystery Heroes enjoyer. I have liked Mystery Heroes for as long as I knew that it existed, I'm pretty sure. And once I kind of knew what was happening in the game, because for a very long time, I had no idea what was going on. I like it because I don't really have to think about who I'm picking or who I'm playing. It's kind of decided for me, and whether I perform well or not is just up to chance. There's a lot of heroes that I have played that I haven't really played before, but then playing them in Mystery Heroes had given me the want to try and learn them and try to learn to play them. I liked both renditions of Mystery Heroes, and I'm talking specifically about the open queue and then the role queue. I also played when they didn't really have limits on roles. I think adding those is a lot nicer, but I think even if they didn't add that, I would probably still play it. I also like modes like these in other games, like, for instance, League. ARAM is my favorite game mode. Also in Heroes of the Storm, but in Heroes of the Storm, ARAM works a little differently. You have like 3 choices of characters that they randomly give you, unless you roll into a lobby where it makes everyone like go murky or something, and that is hilarious. But I think it is a fun way for me to play and kind of almost like turn my brain off even more. Overwatch is very much a comfort game for me, and I think it's just because I've played it for so long. So for the most part, I know what I should be doing. I know how to play the game. I know what to look for. And it's just kind of easy. And then having my hero chosen for me, I kind of just do what I can. And if I can't do it, then that's okay. I know that if I do roll a hero that I either really don't like, or I know that I'm really not good at, or I just don't know how to use the mechanics or the abilities, I know it likely won't last very long because I just don't know how to play them at all. So I'm more likely to kind of just jump to my death by accident. It's never on purpose. And I recently, maybe not super recently, but maybe within the past couple of months, I have gotten the Shapeshifter title, which is the title you get for 500 Mystery Hero wins, which is kind of insane when I think about it, because I've played a lot of Mystery Heroes, and I'm not sure if the time, there might be different amounts of time for that mode, but I have roughly about 500 hours on Mystery Heroes. And I know it's not for everyone, and I always say that if you hate RNG and you don't like playing random characters, don't put yourself through the misery. It's not worth it. I don't mind the RNG. I think I've played it enough, and I've played enough heroes that I get a well-rounded amount of heroes. I know that's not the case for everyone, and I also know that the randomness in this game, whether it's mystery heroes or random skins from favorites or even like flex queuing, it doesn't feel very random, to be honest. I notice that sometimes I will have like a lot of skins on my favorites list, and I kind of go through like the same 2 skins, and I'm not really sure what that's about, because I noticed that it's kind of also the same with like Spotify Shuffle. You will put your playlist on Shuffle, and you could have like 500 songs in this playlist and the same 4 songs play. So I'm not really sure how the code for that kind of stuff works, but it is kind of weird, for the lack of a better word. And I know that if I'm getting kind of frustrated with the heroes that I'm getting, then I probably shouldn't be playing Mr. Heroes, or that I actually do want to pick the hero that I'm playing. So I was really excited when the competitive Mystery Heroes was out, but I don't think I played it as much as I intended to, because I think before it came out, which I can't remember when they added it, I think it was for an anniversary event one time, but I was like, if competitive Mystery Heroes came out, I would play that so much. I would get so good, I'd get such a high rank. And I maybe played like, I played like the placements, because I think there was placements, and that was kind of like the end of it, because I really wasn't just like in a place where I wanted to play competitive modes. But I think my perspective and opinion on competitive game modes is slowly changing. I try not to take it too seriously, and when I say that, I mean like not losing my mental if it's not going well, because it is just a game. It is not actually life and death, even though I did my placements the other day and I made myself so anxious that my tummy was like in knots. I recorded some of the gameplay, but I'm not super sure if I'm going to make a video on it. I think even though there's not really going to be any sound, you can kind of tell that I'm kind of freaking out because I would never really type in chat, but I would like kind of fake type in chat as if like, because I knew I was recording, so if someone was reading that, they would see what I typed. And I can't remember what game I was on, but I was like, man, my tummy hurts so bad. And I was kind of starting to like sweat a lot. And I probably should have just stopped, to be honest. I probably should have just done it another day. But I was really adamant on finishing it. And I wiped my face with some cool water and ran my hands under cold water, and especially like my wrists, because I think your inner wrist can really help regulate your temperature. Don't quote me on that, but I ran my hands under cool water and maybe like 3 minutes later I was completely fine. So if that ever happens again, I am going to remember that it might not always help, but it could help. So I'm going to keep that in mind. And hopefully by now I am at the point where there's Mei gameplay on screen. I just want to talk about how I used to be a Mei main, like way back in the day. Like my first 400 levels, I would go in between playing Mei and Tracer, but I think at one point I kind of realized that Tracer was really hard, and I needed something that had a little more health and survivability and more of an ability to secure kills, because I really couldn't aim at the time, and I still struggle with aim, but I quite enjoy playing Mei, actually. I know a lot of people don't like that they took away her ability to freeze, but I think her primary fire doing just more damage and not freezing is actually a little more helpful than the freezing, I think, because sometimes it would take, or it felt like it would take a long time to actually freeze people, but it's probably not the case. But I like playing Mei. I like sniping people with the icicle. I think if there is a widow that I can't out-widow, I think Mei is a good choice for me. Which some people may not agree with, but I know that the best counter to a widow is a better widow, and if you can't out-widow someone, then you gotta find something else. Actually, in one of my placements, someone went widow, and I was playing Ashe, and I was like, yikes, someone's gotta deal with her because she was sniping everyone. And I'm like, I don't know if I can outsnipe her, like, at all. And I quickly found out that I could not. And my other DPS was like, can I have Widow? Be my guest. Because I can't do it. I think I was alive for maybe 2 minutes, or I was Widow for maybe 2 minutes at the most. Probably not even 2 minutes, but it didn't last long. I was like, yeah, you go ahead and try. I think they tried for like 2 deaths, and then they went, yeah, never mind, and went Sombra. And I don't blame them. I think when you're playing to win, you do what you can. But obviously sometimes it doesn't feel super great, but it is what it is. It's also kind of like when the team gets like me and my friends call it emergency bastion. Anytime someone pulls out the bastion, it's like they went bastion, take a shot. If they start out as bastion, though, that doesn't count. Also, just a random thought, because earlier in this video I played Hazard for like a very short amount of time, but when they did the Overwatch spotlight, I was like crossing my fingers that one of them would be Susie. And if you watched the Hazard hero trailer, I think that's what it was, he has a partner in his group of freaks. He has an Omnic partner named Susie, and he calls her Suze. And I really want her to be a playable character. I think it would be really fun, because it would be also another woman Omnic. I love Arissa, she's super cute, but I think having more Omnics would be cool, because we only really have 3, and it would just be nice to kind of have more kind of interesting characters. I don't want to say interesting, but when I saw Freya, it kind of felt like she was a mishmash of heroes that were already like out. It was kind of just like this same character but like a different flavor. And I probably wouldn't play her. I prefer other characters because I feel like her one ability, I can't quite remember what it is or what it's called, but it seems kind of similar to Sojourn Railgun, and I'm really terrible at Sojourn. I can't hit a charge shot to save my life, which I find is kind of funny because it is the one hit scan part of her kit, and I'm usually pretty bad at anything kind of projectile, except maybe Symmetra, but Symmetra's pretty easy, I think, to get damage with her secondary fire if you're spamming in the right areas. I'm also just used to playing Symmetra at this point. But I would love it if Susie was a character. I also love that she has like these tattoos on her body. I think that's really cool and interesting. And I want to play Hazard and I want to bark at my wife. I don't think that is anything too much to ask for, but it probably is. But that is my hope and my wish, that Susie will be available and I can bark at her. Which probably sounds crazy, but Hazard has a barking voice line. And he's got that dog in him. And I don't have anything else to say on that matter. I also want to mention that there was an Ask Me Anything dev Reddit thread recently about like competitive, but I think you could ask them anything. And I think someone asked about Rammatra and new characters in general getting dance emotes, which I think every new character should get a dance emote by default, especially since in that one anniversary event everyone got a dance emote. I feel like that should just be like a base kit thing. And they said that they were gonna bring it soon. And so a lot of people are thinking and speculating that Rammatra actually is going to be part of the K-pop collab, which I think would be really cool, and I would actually love it if Rammatra got a K-pop thing. There's been like some art of like Rammatra in like a maid dress, and they call him, and he has like cat ears, and they call him Rammatra. That is hard to say. And I think it's really cute, and I really enjoyed it, but I doubt that they would actually make a skin like that, because I feel like that's a little too risque. But if they did, I would buy that immediately. And I try not to buy too many skins these days, because I'm trying to be a little more financially conscious, I guess I could say, and buying every skin that I like isn't a great idea, especially since I have a lot of skins to begin with, and a lot of them I don't use, so I'm trying to also just kind of use those, which is why I use random from favorites. I think they also mentioned that the new hero will also be getting dance emote, and hopefully that also pertains to the other newer heroes, or the later on newer heroes. I'm saying this completely wrong, but Aqua, the new support that's coming out in like probably season 18, if I had to guess. I think that's how it goes, because it's usually like new hero, new map, new hero, new map. I think I have a really bad concept of time though, and I can't remember if they've actually kind of stuck with that pattern or not. So, and there also hasn't been like a tank mythic in so long. Oh, I lied. The Rhine one was last season. I totally forgot about that one because I'm not a Rhine enjoyer whatsoever, so I do not go out of my way to get anything Rhine related. There was a moment in time where I kind of played Reinhardt. It was mostly in 6v6, I think. I did try it later on, but in like 5v5, but I had a hard on a pocket at the time. And I'm just not a Rhine player. I don't find him super enjoyable to play. I find him really hard to play. And there's other tanks that I would rather spend my time on. And it's kind of interesting to me that a lot of the new heroes, minus Kiriko, we're not counting Kiriko in this, but a lot of the new heroes, Junker Queen, Sojourn, Rammatra, Mauga, Venture, they don't have a lot of skins in general. And I find it strange that they don't have a lot of cosmetics when they come out. And even when the Overwatch 2 launched and there was Junker Queen and Sojourn and Kiriko, I can't remember what skins Sojourn had for legendaries. The legendaries for Junker Queen, they kind of just looked like base skins. Or like the epic. It should have been almost like an epic version of the skin and not a legendary. This is my opinion, but when you look at all the other legendary skins for their heroes, a lot of them look different from the base skin in some way. I think about like Mercy, Sigrun, and Valkyrie. I forgot the name. Where it's like it's still pretty simple, but she looks a lot different than her base skin, in my opinion. And for Junker Queen, it kind of just felt like it was her base skin with different colors and then like some netting on her hip. So I wasn't super buzzed about that, especially since, well, I think you can buy those skins with white currency, but it just doesn't feel super great, I guess. And also, some of Rammatra's legendary skins are just like him in a toga. And that's kind of disappointing too. I really love, I was going to call him Rammatra. Rammatra. I think he's pretty fun to play. I think he's an interesting tank. I think there's a lot of possibilities that you can do to give him skins, but I think sometimes Blizzard is just afraid to take risks, and I know it's probably also like higher ups stopping certain decisions, but I think part of running a business and trying to make money is to take risks, and if you miss the mark, you miss the mark, and if you don't, then that's good. Obviously, I'm not a business aficionado or anything, but if there's anything that I've learned in my own experiences, that risks are worth taking, you just have to kind of weigh those risks and see which ones are worth taking, because if they really think it's not gonna make money, then maybe charge less or something, or make it, I don't know, free skin. I'm not exactly sure, but or even like some of like the recolors. I feel like you should be able to maybe not necessarily earn them for free, but maybe even use like white currency to get them, because, and this is if you like already own the base one. I think if you don't own the base one, then maybe you should pay for it. But I have so much white currency that I'm probably never going to use. The only things that I really spend that currency on is if a new hero comes out and I want a different colored skin for them. Like the Juno one, I got the pink because I like pink. And I will get a victory pose and maybe like an emote or a highlight intro. And that's kind of all that I get, or that I feel like getting, and just feels kind of meh, to be honest. I have like 24,000 white currency, and it's just kind of like sitting there. It would be interesting if they could maybe make it so you could maybe buy a loot box with that or something. I'm not exactly sure, but it would be nice to be able to spend that currency on something that I'm more likely to want to use. Because I may not own every skin for heroes, but if it's like less than a legendary and I already have a lot of legendaries, I'm probably not going to use those ones, to be honest. No hate or anything towards those skins, it's just if I have something that I enjoy more, then I'm going to utilize that. I think it's also kind of funny in a lot of this gameplay because I think it's kind of obvious in some points that I'm like, you can tell that I'm lost. Like earlier, there was a point on Shambali when I was Reaper, and I was on the edge of the map, and I was kind of just like standing there because I thought I got booped off, or I thought I was on a place on the map where I was falling off. And I wasn't, but I'm just like, what's happening? I am really happy though that they did bring back loot boxes. I'm not sure if I mentioned that in my last video, but I'm quite happy with it. That's kind of how I got a lot of my skins in Overwatch 1. I did spend a lot of money at one point on Overwatch 1, but then after a certain point, since I played so much, it was kind of easy for me to get those cosmetics. Since I think you would get a loot box every time you leveled up. So that was pretty cool, not gonna lie. I opened 2 legendary loot boxes. I've gotten a few legendaries, but the specific legendary loot boxes, the first one I got Dragon Brigitte, which is, it's an okay skin. I don't love it, but I'm happy to get it, I guess. I also got Lifeguard Lifeweaver. I quite liked that when I saw it come out, but I do not play Lifeweaver enough to warrant me buying the skins, especially since I bought the Xbox Ultimate Game Pass to get the Cleric Lifeweaver one because I really liked it, and I think I didn't play much of that season. I think I only got to like level 20 and I got Slime Queen Echo, and that was kind of enough for me. I wasn't super into playing at the time, so I kind of just looked and saw what was free, because I think that skin was free, and I went from there. And I also got my guaranteed legendary, which I got Retro Future Arissa. I feel like I got something else, because I thought I got something else. Maybe I didn't. I got that skin. It's actually pretty cute. Her little tail wiggles. It's like a little antenna thing, and it's pretty cute. I am more excited though for the Ducky skin recolor that they're going to make earnable, which I think is really cool and a step in the right direction. Because I think it's just kind of slimy to charge the same amount for a recolor of a skin. That's just my humble onion. And I got a random legendary. I think I was maybe 3 or 4 boxes in, and I got Cardboard Brigitte, which I thought was cool because the cardboard skins are pretty cute. I actually quite liked Cardboard Diva. I think the sounds that it made were really cute, but again, I have many a diva skin, and I don't want to spend money that I don't have on things that I don't necessarily need at this particular moment in time. And I also got the Retro Future Echo in that box as well. And me playing Hog in this game, I was kind of lost, but I felt really powerful. My Hog is really hit or miss. I know how to do the combo, but if I can't hit a hook, then it's kind of hard to do the combo. But I was hitting a lot of hooks, and I was really surprised with every hook that I hit. I think I missed the first hook I missed. I was like, oh god, I'm probably not gonna last long on Hog, because Hog is kind of just like a really big DPS a lot of the time. If you can't hook anyone, you're kind of not getting the value that you should be. And I know a lot of people hate when they have a Hog on their team, which I get. But then I know I've played against many Hogs where it doesn't matter where you are. If he has line of sight of you and you're close enough to be hooked, you will be hooked. I know that in Overwatch 1, I really wanted to learn the combo because I also wanted to learn more tanks. since rule queue wasn't a thing at that time. So I was kind of like, I need to learn more tanks. Because the only ones that I really knew how to play were like Orisa and Diva. And Orisa wasn't always out. But I really wanted to learn the hook combo. And a friend of mine and I went into a custom game and we practiced the hook until I learned how to hit a hook. I mean, sometimes I can't hit a hook to save my life, but I was hitting many a hook, or I was learning to hit a lot of them, and I was learning where I should aim my hook and stuff, because I think that was one of the hardest things for some reason. Also, when Orisa and Hog were a couple, a good, I can't think of the word. My goodness. Like, they were a good pick because of her grabby ability, and so she would grab everyone and then you would just hook into the grab. But for some reason I could not figure that out whatsoever, even though you would think you just aim into the ball with people, but that didn't work a lot for me, so I would tend to not pick Hog if I saw the Orisa. It's kind of like I'm not super confident in my Ana, so if I see a Genji, I won't play Ana. And if I'm playing Genji and there's an Ana, I feel really intimidated and I don't want to play Genji anymore. Because I cannot blade to save my life. I get so lost when I blade. I dash up into the air, I think I know where everyone is, and then I pick the wrong target, and then I'm like, where am I? What year is it? What game am I playing? And then I die. Which I think is honestly kind of just the Genji experience, even if you are really good at Genji. Because people will do anything if you are ulting. You will get solo ulted, slept, antied, stunned, what have you. It happens, but it's hard. I also had a friend when I was learning Genji who would play Zen, and they would ult when I ulted so that I wouldn't die. And that is not how you're supposed to really play with that ult, but we did it anyways. Did it help me? No, not really. I mean, it would stop me from dying sometimes, but I still wouldn't get any kills. So. And back to the Hog thing real quick. If you don't know how to do the combo, I think it can one-shot a lot of people. I'm not 100% sure, as I don't really play Hog a whole lot anymore, but you can get people at least pretty low, I think, this way. So you hook your target, and while they're being pulled to you, you step forward, and then you shoot, and then you melee. And you might kill them. You may not. I also have that thing where I hook someone and then I realize that my gun isn't reloaded. And sometimes I will do that. I'll be really cocky and I'll do that with a Reaper. And then I'll pull him to me and then I'm like, oop, that was not the right move. I also remembered that I actually started off with my open queue placements. I don't usually ever play open queue because I know that most open queue players play basically goats. So there's a lot of tanks, and that kind of deterred me a little bit because I never liked goats. I didn't enjoy playing it. But I decided to play it because I wanted to get comp points, but I wasn't feeling quite ready to do my placements with like learning all the new perks and stuff. And I actually didn't mind my placements, but after being placed, the games kind of changed. I think that's kind of something that always happens after placements, is that your placements can feel pretty neutral a lot of the time. And then after, it's like the hardest games you've ever played in your life. I was playing mostly Diva because it was easier to play Diva when there's another tank. I'm also better at playing tank when there is another tank, so I was kind of using that as a way to play tank in a more easier playing field, I guess. And my first game after placements, because I kind of thought, oh, it wasn't too bad, so maybe I will keep playing. And then the next few games I kept going against like Malgazaria, and I'm like, yeah, that's a thing. Don't really like that, because I can either deal with Malga or Zarya. I can't really deal with both. That's just like a lot of damage coming at you at all times. And I'm not a very skilled tank. Also, I was kind of always solo tanking in these particular games. The other games, people seemed more likely to switch. And these could have just been like off chances, like off games or whatever, but solo tanking against 3 other tanks is not super fun. Especially if you kind of just struggle tanking in general. So, if you ever plan on playing open queue, just know that you're likely going to play against Malgazaria at the very least. And that's not super fun, in my opinion. And I'm sure a lot of other people would agree as well. I think it was an interesting experience anyways, but don't think I will do that again. I am kind of excited for 6v6 though, because I kind of do want to play tank. I just don't like playing tank alone. I think my playstyle doesn't really fit into the solo tanking role. I often play pretty aggressive, and I know that I should try to play with my team more or play at a pace of my team more, but I think I struggle a lot when my backline is struggling with, say, a Sombra or a Tracer or something like that, and I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to help with that as like a tank, or if I should be, to be honest, because if I'm kind of focusing on trying to absorb some damage from the front, I feel like turning around kind of doesn't help, or it doesn't put me in a good position. And maybe it'd be worthwhile to watch some guides, but I'm not super invested in playing tank at the moment, so I'm not sure if I will look that up or not. though I am really looking forward to hopefully getting some galactic weapons. I'm not super sure if I will try to just grind comp by myself. I did do my placements by myself. I do enjoy playing with my duo, but it's just more of like timing issues and life kind of being life. So I know that we will for sure do the drives, but that's quite a ways in the future as the season just started basically. But we will see. There is time to get them. I do want one for every hero. Do I need one? Not necessarily. Will I stick with that? I don't know. But we will see. I at least want it for some of my mains, like Moira, Mercy, Ashe. Though I was thinking of getting the Jade one specifically for the mythic weapon, but I haven't quite decided, even though I think I have like 9,000 legacy currency right now, so I could, or I could not. I just haven't decided, because I could wait until the end of the next competitive year, but that's a long ways away. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next one. Stay safe.